Hello YouTube and hello electrical interwebs in general. I'm back at home now from where I was before. I was doing my other couple of videos on my fake AliExpress Telecaster at my girlfriend's house. So just when I could on the weekend, I go up there to see her a lot. And I'm back at my own flat now, which is welcome to my abode. I've got a better microphone. I'm in my home studio, which is otherwise known as my bedroom. So that's better. It's actually a shit microphone. It's a Samsung CO1, I think. I've had it for ages, but it actually does the job very well for the money. And I guess that kind of is similar to the point of this video, which is that I did get one major sort of comment that came up and up and up about my previous video about the AliExpress Telecaster that I got that was a piece of shit. And I guess a lot of it was people being smug. Sometimes a lot of people doing the Captain Obvious bullshit where, you know, they just repeat what you've already said and as if they're teaching you something. It's like, wow, I didn't know that already, thank you. Well, wow, really? And that comment was, you get what you pay for. And now you'd think after my previous experiences, I would be like, yeah, man, lesson learned. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to challenge that idea because it's bullshit, right? Now, firstly, in the case of this, I'll go get it. Actually, this is my cheap shit AliExpress Telecaster. Now it's quite nice now. Actually, I've put a lot of work into it, but yeah, all right. I've probably put more money and definitely more time into it than it was worth. But I've got a guitar. But still, at the time, this disproves that idea that you get what you pay for. Because if it's just a case of how much money you throw at it, I got significantly less than what I paid for at the time. It's better now because I got a good deal on some components, but I got a lot less than what I paid for. Because I've dropped 200 quid on guitars before. I think everyone has. You know, you buy a cheap guitar and you can sometimes do them up. You can set them up. They're nice enough. You still expect a playable instrument for £200. You still expect that. Okay. You buy a Squier. You do not expect those issues on a £200 Squier. So I think, in reality, that's one case where actually the warning of that video wasn't you get what you pay for. It was, if you don't do your research and you don't heed warnings like this, like the one I was providing there, you may get significantly less than what you pay for. But bear in mind that this goes right up the scale. You know, you should still do your research. You do more research on a £3.5 guitar than you would on a 200 quid cheap knockoff AliExpress, because a lot of people can maybe afford to lose £200. A lot of people can't, which is one of the reasons I made the video to say, look, you know, if you strap for cash, save up a little more, get something that you know is going to be quality that you can play. But, you know, there's guys on there on the forums with buyer's remorse who've bought a £3.5 fucking Telecaster, right? Seriously, you go on the Telecaster forums, there's guys on there, just type in guitar buyer's remorse and see how many expensive, full-on, custom job guitars people regret buying. Now, they've wasted a major investment there. They may be able to resell them, but often depreciation might kick in. They've probably at least lost a few $100s or pounds or whatever. So there is that. But at the other time, I kind of want to be a bit more positive about this and say a few ways that actually you can get more than what you pay for. And it's totally possible to do it. I don't think AliExpress is a good avenue to do that. I agree, absolutely, in a way with the people who are, you know, being like, laughing about, I'm laughing at myself for that, you know. You live and learn. But there are other ways in which you can get a lot more bang for your buck. So to try and be positive in proving all of your stupid comments bullshit, I'm going to kind of give some examples of actually getting a lot more than what you pay for. And I'll probably go through a few of my guitars here to give an example. I'll probably mention a couple of other extant examples for maybe righties, you know, that might not be available to me as a lefty, but are good ones. And like, I'll start one of my older guitars here. This is a Core M600. I've had it for 16 years. It still looks pretty nice. Check out the flame on that. Lovely flame maple top. Solid mahogany guitar. It's had the shit kicked out of it at gigs. And it still plays great. It's still fine. I like it. It's had pickups changed. But other than that, it's pretty much as it came out of the box. And it was £400. Now at the time, this is the one I want to kind of get on, is paying for the name, okay? This was being made in South Korea, which at the time was an up-and-coming sort of thing. This was like the late 90s, early 2000s. These were made in the Ibanez factory. Now, Ibanez commanded a premium compared to cork guitars. So, although I'd never heard of these, I played it and went, wow, this is a nice guitar. So instead of having to go, oh, I need an Ibanez because I'm playing metal or whatever, I went and got the cork. And the cork, despite being made in the same factory, because it doesn't have that name on it, it was a much higher quality guitar than you would expect. It's probably more on a par with, say, like a £600 to £800 Ibanez when it was a £400 guitar. So there's one example. Don't always go with the big name brands. Go with reviews. I mean, or play it and decide for yourself. In this case, I did that. But go, you know, that's one way you can get a lot more. Because you don't have to have a Gibson. As much as people are going to take the fucking piss now, because I did get a Gibson, a Fender logo on that cheap guitar there. Yeah, all right. I shouldn't have done that. I admit it. I should probably have gone, oh, fuck it, no, scrap it. Put my own logo on. Put some other daft thing on there. I'll probably change it at some point, all right, if it makes you fucking happy. But really, I actually have a lot of faith in the off-brand guitars, you know. So Cork's one example. They have some shit guitars, but those mid-range ones, for the time, especially at that point in history, they were very nice. Another example is modding guitars, okay? So you can mod up a guitar and make it into something a lot better than the sum of its parts. Now, that was my intention with the AliExpress Telecaster. And actually, it was on the back of a successful project with this. So this is a cheap guitar. This is a £240 guitar at retail, brand new from Revelation. Definitely recommend these guys. But it wasn't that amazing when I first got it, but it played well, and that's what I wanted. What I did to this, it's actually a left-handed Jazzmaster Bass 6, 30-inch neck scale. Now, I put a lot of the same similar mods I put on the AliExpress one, but I made a custom scratch plate. I put like this Jaguar bit on here, and I put these, you know, vintage-style knobs. These are bare knuckles, but I actually imported some real metal covers for the P90s. They're bare knuckle Stockholms. So this is a fucking doom machine now, right? Now, I posted this on some Jazzmaster groups and shit, and people were going, wow, we love that guitar. That's so cool. That's really cheap for what you got. You know, and it's not an amazing guitar, but it's quite unique. So that's another way that you can get a lot more bang for your buck. Learn to modify your guitars. At least learn to change the pickups out, because if you get a solid bit of wood and you put some high-end pickups in that, you will have a beautiful bit of kit, and it will serve you very well. So there's another way where you don't get what you pay for, you get a lot better. In this case, you know, okay, I probably dropped about 4.5, yeah, probably 4,000, it's not 4,000, 450 quid on that in total after I modified it. But it's something very unique, and you would probably pay about maybe £800-900 even to get the Schecter equivalent of that, the Fender version in left-handed. I looked and there were about £4,000 custom jobs second hand, right? That's expensive shit. Don't even go there, right? But so another example is buying second hand. So you get a lot more bang for your buck buying second hand. Should make, you know, be a bit of a no-brainer. But even like shit, I'll start with the shit guitar actually. I got second hand. This, it's not actually that shit. This is shitty. This is a Les Paul copy from the 80s, made by Aria, I believe. And this was like £70 in a second-hand shop, yeah? So I went in this second-hand shop. They had more expensive, marginally, Les Paul copies. This was the shitty one that was in the corner, covered in dust, absolutely looked like it was falling to bits. I played all the others, and they just weren't as good. And then I picked this one up and went, you know, last thing, let's give it a go. I was like, it stays in tune. It needs some new strings, it needs a cell, but my God, it was a much better guitar. So this one, you know, I put some extra bits on it, a few little modifications just to make it look nicer. Perfectly good instrument. As a backup, I probably wouldn't use it for recording or anything, but as a backup instrument at a gig, you know, you're playing a gig, you don't want to take your most expensive axe out. You want it just in case you snap a string, you can grab it, it sounds alright. That's a good investment, and you get more than what you pay for, because this, for like 70 quid, is on a par, easily in terms of construction, it's actually on a par with an Epiphone Les Paul standard. We compared them with a friend's version, and he's like, yeah, they're about the same sort of level of instrument, really, you know, apart from the pickups. Again, always change your pickups. Here's another second hand, absolute bargain. 250 quid this was from a mate. This is a £1,100 Schecter Hellraiser C7. So you can actually get very good deals second hand. So I know that sounds like a no-brainer to a lot of people, but definitely look at those options, because this needs some modifications. The nut needs replacing. I've put new knobs on it. There's a little bit of tarnish on the hardware. It's had a live music history. All these are issues that the seller made me aware of when I bought it, but it's still an incredibly good deal. So I think with a lot of that stuff, I just kind of wanted to say to people that saying that simply throwing money at a guitar is a good idea is not a good idea. Don't just throw your money at a guitar. Don't pay. I know, as silly as it sounds, that I got a fake Fender, but don't pay for the name, right? Don't pay for the country of origin. Sorry, America, but you know, at the end of the day, if I buy a Fender, it'll probably be a Japanese one, to be honest, because I think that the payment for just having American hands having touched it is a bit too expensive. If I go for a high-end custom guitar, it will probably be from a luthier that's local, because there's less worrying about shipping and stuff like that, a UK luthier. So in America, that'll make sense, you know, go to an American luthier. But then there's guys in Poland, Skirverson guitars. Jesus, check out their stuff. Wow, beautiful stuff. And it's not amazingly expensive when you compare it to a Fender custom shop that looks nowhere near as good. So that's another way to get more bang for your buck, is actually, even at the high end of guitars, you don't necessarily have to pay for the name. You will probably get an amazing piece of kit from a more independent retailer, that kind of thing. So that's a bunch of stuff there anyway. I don't think you really do get what you pay for. I think you either get a lot less, but you can get a lot more. And I think that you should still, regardless of getting burned on the odd deal there, always do your research, always try the best to get the most you can, most bang for your buck, and and learn to modify your instruments. Buy second hand if you can, and all that sort of stuff. I think it's very important. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching my other video. It's had a lot of views. I'm really grateful for that. I know I sound a little butthurt at the comments, but I thought it was an interesting topic of getting what you pay for. So hopefully we'll see what people think about that. Please leave your comments below. Please tell me what you think about that. Have you ever got a bargain? Have you ever got burned? And how much did you end up spending? How much did you gain or lose from that? I would love to hear that kind of stuff. So yeah, please leave some comments below, and don't be a cunt.